Hello everyone, welcome to part 2 of Scrapbooking Paper Crafting Basics. This episode is basics of stamping. So if you're not at all familiar with stamping, then this is definitely going to help. I'm going to walk you through some tips on just what you need to know to get started. So Close to My Heart offers clear acrylic stamps, which are wonderful. They come in a little envelope like this. They have done a lovely job of eliminating buttons off of here that used to be here, so they are much more compact. And when you get your stamp, you pull it out brand new. They all come with this sheet. This is actually really important. This is your backing sheet, so you put that down and that's what you're going to use as your stamp pad background. So because I have my all-purpose mat here, I don't actually need to use that. So what I do is I take my all-purpose mat and I flip it over, and look. It has a nice foam backing. So it's going to be my backing for my stamping. So with my new stamp, I need to season it. So because these come out of the manufacturer and they have a bit of an oil on them, I guess you would say, just from the manufacturing process. So you want to make sure that you season it. So it's called seasoning your stamp. I'm just putting it on my block nice and firm. I'm going to take that. I usually rub it around on the palm of my hand. You can do it here. All you're really doing is taking off any of that kind of oils that are on it. Those oils will stop you from getting a crisp, clear image. They don't let the ink adhere properly to the stamp. So often what I need to do is actually even test it. So I'm going to just show you that. So I'm going to take a scrap piece of paper. I'm going to ink this up. These are these are our stamp pads. We have two kinds. This is the current kind. These are the old kinds. Lots of people still have these. They tend to be a little bit difficult to open. You have to push here, pull them up, turn it around, push it back down. Sometimes that can be difficult. So with my stamp on my block, you want to try and get a block that fits your stamp nicely so that you don't end up with ink on your block, which will then transfer onto your paper if you're not very careful. It happens to me quite frequently. You need to be aware of that. So tap, 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 twist, 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 tap, tap, tap. That gets your stamp nice and inked up, and because it's a clear acrylic block and stamp, you can see it. You stamp down here. Beautiful. I moved it, so I got a little bit of an image there. So I'm going to try that again. One more time. I keep moving. I'm going to just show you the difference. If I take this stamp here, it might not show up as much. What you will find is if you're using a solid stamp, this is much more difficult. So if I take this, I don't season it. I'm going to ink it up and then I'm going to stamp it down. It's actually pretty good. What happens with the solid parts is it just doesn't adhere well. So it is a good tip to remember when you're doing a solid stamp. And I'm actually going to show you a solid stamp. So this is actually my ink cleaner. I just have a random little spray bottle, but this is the Close to My Heart clear acrylic stamp cleaner. And the scrubber. The scrubber is great. It's nice and small and compact. It travels easily. It has a lid. And it's virtually the same size as your stamp pads. It's just nice and easy. It has rubber feet on it so that I don't have to pick it up. I can just use it right on my desk. So, back to this one. I've now made sure that it's going to give me a nice crisp, clear image. So I take my paper, make sure I'm on my foam backing mat, ink that up, and then I'm going to stamp the image. There we go. Beautiful, crisp, clear image. I'm going to clean it, and I'm going to show you a little trick. So this stamp will work very well because it's basically an oval, basically a mirror image. This is just a fun little technique to try. I had forgotten about it, but we recently were at a little workshop and they showed us this again, and it reminded me, and it's probably not going to stick that great because it's a little bit fresh. So I'm going to leave that to dry, and I'm going to show you a couple of other little tricks here. Let me use this one. So this is just a little kind of confetti dot pattern. I'm going to take that, ink it up. I forgot to season it, so I just want to make sure that it's a nice crisp image. I'm going to stamp it on my scrap paper. Then I'm going to ink up just half of it. Just a little bit. And then I'm going to stamp it, and let's see what this looks like. So it just adds a little bit of a different look to it. It's not necessarily the best image to do that with, but that's a fun little technique that you can try. There are lots and lots of different techniques you can do with stamps to give you all kinds of different effects. You can do that with different colors, and I will maybe show you some more of those tips later on, but right now I just want to kind of show you more or less the basics of stamping. So let's see if we can get this to stick a little bit better now. There we go, it's dried now. So what I'm doing is I'm taking this stamp and I am flipping it upside down, and I'm putting it on my block the wrong way. So this is important to make sure that I season this stamp so that I get a nice crisp image. Okay, I'm going to definitely use this to make sure. I'm going to switch my color, so I'm going to put that one away. I'm going to take out my new pansy. See how easy that is? It's lovely. It's magnetic. Okay, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to ink it up. So I'm going to twist, I'm going to tap. See, looks pretty good. I'm going to do this. So not bad. It's not fantastic. It's not great, but I think I'm probably going to do a second generation of this. You can see there's a little bit of a difference in the shape there. So I'm going to try and make sure that I line that up. So let's do that once more. I'm going to do this. I'm going to stamp it off on my scrap, get that out of the way, and then I'm going to line this up just like that. There we go. Oh, that looks pretty cool. So it just gives you a little background. It adds something to it. You can do this in multiple colors. You could do some other effects on that, but that's just a fun little, really simple trick with the stamps because it's an acrylic stamp. It's the same on both sides. This just happens to be the back, but it's fun. It gives you just something interesting to add to your stamped image. Okay, so that's our basics of stamping. Don't forget to make sure that you do clean them. I also suggest there's been some issues that some people have had with the stamp pad cleaner. Make sure that it dries before you put the lid back on it. I've been doing that and just leaving it on my desk, but I think it's a good tip. Just make sure that you leave that open, let it dry. I just leave it sitting on my desk open all the time. I'm using it constantly anyway. Anyway, if you do have any questions about stamping, please post them in the comments and I will do my best to help you out. Have a great day.